It is the game week, and with that, I want to bring in head coach John Cooper and Beanie Wells. Beanie, I want to start with you. You have had the rare opportunity to take the field in the game. What's going through these guys' minds as they get ready for
These guys are excited, understanding the magnitude of the moment, understanding what happened the last couple of years and them not having an opportunity to end on a high note like they wanted to. I think this game is going to be a lot about redemption and about a little bit to get back, not just for, Ryan Day, but the players and all the seniors that decided to forego the NFL and come back. I can't wait for this matchup.
All right, Coop. How much are they talking about the last 3 years in the Woody, or do you just make it about, hey, let's go beat these guys?
Not only talking about the last 3 years, we're talking about the last 25 years. In my case, in my case, Coop says, everybody says Coop can't beat Michigan. I want to let them know I coached at Arizona State in 1987. We beat Michigan and won the Rose Bowl, so we can beat Michigan. But the team that's got the best players, I keep saying this over and over, usually is going to win that game. In the 90s, Michigan had great players. From 2000 to about 2020, they lost, I think, 64 games. They went through a period up there when they weren't that good. Now, the last 3 or 4 years, they've had better players than us. The last 2 or 3 years, whether we want to admit it or not, and they've beaten us. We got better players than Michigan's got this year. That's why I think we're going to win the ball game this afternoon.
Beanie, he said the Rose Bowl had to be his favorite memory. What's your favorite memory against Wolverine?
Oh man, there's so many. Obviously, I didn't lose to him. Beating them at Michigan on the road.
Little flex right there. Obviously, I haven't lost.
Beating them at Michigan there in 2000. It would have been 2007
Was
on the road
run?
there. Yes, I had a big run there, but it was, Mike Hart came back, Chad Henne came back. All those guys there decided to come back. Jake Long to come back for their senior years, thinking that it would beat us after losing in the 06 game and, going up there on the road, tough environment, winning that football game and kind of, shutting those guys up a little bit. I thought that was probably one of my finest moments.
Coop, when you look at the guys that did come back, this is the reason. They said unfinished business. This is the business. How much just emotion are they feeling this week, knowing that it's here, that everything they want is in front of them, but they've got to play that game Saturday?
Well, like Beanie says, it's 100%. It's 100%. They've been thinking about Michigan from the time they got here. They've been thinking about Michigan from the time we talked to them about coming to play at Ohio State. That's what you talk about, the greatest rivalry in college football. The thing that's really making us a great football team is through the portals, we got 3 or 4 great players, 3 from Alabama, we got one from Ole Miss, a great one from Kansas State. I don't know if Michigan's got any. If they have, they're not very good because they don't have as good a football team as we got. Plus, let me make this point. When you recruit, I had a reputation of recruiting and going out of state. You cannot lose good football players from the state of Ohio to Michigan.
Right.
Their 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Beanie, are from Ohio.
Right.
They're from Ohio. You can't let that happen. You got to keep your good players at home, then you got to recruit nationwide.
Well, real quick, I'll go back to you on that, Coop. We've seen these guys that aren't necessarily Ohio guys, like Will Howard, like Caleb Downs, buy into this rivalry. They're not shy about admitting that they understand what it's about, even though they've only been on campus 11 months. What does that say about this program? What does that say about this team?
Well, 3 things you got to do. You got to recruit. And our recruiters have done a great job. But trust me, when they start talking to a player about coming here and playing at the Ohio State University, you're talking about Michigan. You're talking about Michigan, the greatest rivalry in college football.
Beanie, when you hear Will Howard take the podium after Indiana and say, I felt the pain, I can see it. He wants to win for Ryan Day, he wants to win for the seniors. That passion, how important is that going into Saturday?
It's critical, and it's a testament to Ryan Day and making sure that his guys understand how important this rivalry is, not just to the players on that team, but to the people that grow up loving the Buckeyes, to the people that grow up in his state, not just the state here, but the state of Michigan as well. It's important to those guys. But it's an incredible game, an incredible rivalry, and, Ryan Day makes sure his guys understand how important it is. It's critical.
All right. Coop, this isn't a top 5 matchup. This isn't a playoff-altering matchup for Michigan and Ohio State. The Buckeyes obviously need to win to get to the playoff and keep all their dreams. That doesn't change the intensity of this game, though, does it? There's no – I mean, it's cliche, but the records truly don't matter in this game.
We got better players than they've got. If we play our game, I don't think they can beat us. Now, we can beat ourselves. The kicking game might be very important as it was in a game last week. You can't get a punt blocked. You can't let them return a punt for a kickoff. You can't, let them get – big plays against us, home run plays down the field. We can't continue to get pass interference, Benny, and expect to win. Right. And we'll correct we've corrected all those mistakes this week. We cannot make those mistakes because this football team, Michigan football team, will play better than people think they're going to play when they come in here and play us.
Beanie, what do you think it is about this Buckeye team? I know Michigan has struggled. They're not where they are. But just about this team in particular, remove the opponent, that is going to allow them to go in and win this game?
They're battle tested. You know, they've been through adversity this year. They've understood what it means to go out and win big games, and you know what it means to lose a bad game. Obviously, losing to Oregon, having that in the back of your mind, understanding that, you didn't do everything that you could do to control your own destiny, and understanding that, you got everything that it takes. It's just putting it together when it matters most, and that's going to be this afternoon.
I'm looking at those games through the years with Michigan. It's amazing, Beanie, how sometimes one little play would determine the outcome of that game.
Right.
Whether this defensive wide receiver blocks that corner, we don't need field goals. We need touchdowns.
Right.
That happened to us. We're leading them 9-0 at halftime. Should have been away from. We should have scored 3 touchdowns, but we didn't do it.
Right.
We didn't block that corner.
When you look at this Buckeye team, you think Will Howard is ready for a moment like this? I mean, it feels like he's lived up to everyone so far. Beanie, I'll ask you.
Absolutely, I do think he is. When you watch him just over the weeks, he's gotten better week by week. Like Coach said a little bit earlier, he's kind of been that unquestioned leader on this football team. And, in critical moments, he makes big plays. Yeah, he had a couple of interceptions this year, but he's not making them at the most unopportune times. He's making them, just trying to go to his guys, but he's taking care of the football. He's doing all the right things for this football team.
Coach, the slow starts. Feels like if you just took the second to fourth quarter, the Buckeyes might have won every game by 100. But the slow starts have been kind of a crux for this team. We talk about it. How do you actually go do it? How do you show up on Saturday and make sure you get a fast start in a game?
I've been saying this all year. I think our coaching staff, now that we put 2 great coaches in the press box, communicating with the head coach on the sideline, we've made the best adjustments during the course of the ball game, and particularly at halftime, I think, of any football teams I've seen. I mean, last week, we make those adjustments. We come out the second half. Their quarterback goes back to throw. Here comes a guy unblocked. We pressed for the first time. We blitzed them last week. Our defense is very, very much improved. We're not making mistakes, particularly at quarterback. We got great leaderships out of our quarterback. I think that's going to be the difference in the game.
All right. Ohio State wins, Beanie, if?
Ohio State wins if we are the more physical football team and if we take care of the football.
All right, cool.
Ohio State wins. Ohio State wins.
There's no if. All right, there you heard
They got to
it.
win. They got to play our game, and we win the game.
All right. They are 2 Buckeye greats, Beanie Wells and head coach John Cooper.